Okay, guys, so this is take two for experiment three. I tried before to do this exactly how it says in your lab, but unfortunately, my arm hair does not show up on the screen, even with a black background. So what I am doing instead is I've modified the lab so that you guys can see the results that we want. I'm still going to use the balloon with the X drawn on one side. This is going to be important because I'm going to charge the X and we're going to see what happens to the charged side of the balloon and the uncharged side of the balloon. So one side has an X and everything else is blank. Again, my hair wouldn't show up, so I am using this little stuffed animal that one of my kids had from the Croods. And so before we get started, I'm just going to pass the balloon over the top of my little guy, making sure that you guys see that nothing is disrupted on his little head. Okay, so what the experiment says to do first is to take the X and your arm, and we're going to rub these together for at least 5 seconds. I'm going to make sure I get all of this guy's head. So again, this is a stand-in for your arm, because now what we should be able to see is when I pass this over his head, there we go, I've got the X pointing right there. And so you should be seeing, and I'm trying to get the camera out of the way for you, but we can see that motion. So we see the attraction going on. Make sure I do it enough so that we can see the effect. Now, the reason why I did this to the X side is because I also want to show you what happens when I take it away and when I bring the non-charged side up and over his head. So absolutely nothing happens here. Again, if I switch it back and find my X, there we go. So I find my X and I want to make sure that you guys can see this. See some of the furs moving around. Doesn't translate as well on the video as it does if you had your own balloon at home and can try this, but I do want to show that there is nothing that happens when we use the other side. The other thing that we can do too is we can ground the balloon by touching the X with our hand. I'm going to ground my little friend here. And now when I bring the X close to his head, just a little residual, pat him down, pat this down. There we go. Now I see nothing moving. So now everything is back to neutrally charged. So again, what I did, charged him up, good 5 seconds, and then I can watch what happens when the two objects interact. And if I turn the balloon over, I can see what happens there.